Hello everyone, and welcome back to Saturn Studios. My name is Kipper, and I'm curious why I'm behind a fish tank. In this episode, Venkatesh will go behind the scenes at the library. He will be interviewing Jamie Harvey, John Kozakowski, Jennifer Land, and Mary J. McGuire. I hope you all enjoy the video.
So, what path did you choose to begin your career?
Well, when I was an undergrad, I thought I was going to be a geology major, but then I realized that what I loved about higher education was how interconnected everything was. And if I was going to be a geologist, I either have to be really focused on that career, or if I were a professor, my research would have to be super specialized. And I really liked more being a generalist. So I wanted to know, how could I stay in higher education and still be a generalist? And I realized that librarians get to do that. We get to look at all different subjects. So to be a librarian, I knew that I would need to get a master's degree. So it meant that I could major in whatever I wanted in college. So I chose cultural anthropology just because it was interesting to me. And it just gave me more of a background between science and social science. And then I went to graduate school after college.
Nice.
And then came here. So.
Wow. How many years have you been working in Landmark, and did you become the director of library services as a posting just as it is, or as a promotion?
Yeah, so I've been here, coming this February, I'll have been at the college for 25 years. I came as a research services librarian, and then about 5 years in, the library director left and said to me, well, obviously you're going to be the interim library director, but she really encouraged me to apply for the position.
Wow.
And so I did. I applied internally. I was the only candidate. They were just making sure I was a good fit. And so in essence, I really was promoted. So I felt really lucky. I never planned to be a library director, but being a library director here means I get to be both an administrator, but I also still get to be a librarian. I still get to work with students, with faculty, staff. So it's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, best of both worlds. I agree. So the last question of this interview is, what are the advantages and disadvantages, and have you encountered any memorable moments?
Sure. Oh gosh, there's a lot of advantages. It's I get to keep learning, and I get to learn about new things from all different disciplines. I get to work with people from all across the college, students, faculty, staff, and help them find what they need to find. I've been thinking about the disadvantages, and it's really hard to find any. That we're at we're in the stage in probably not just the United States but beyond, called the Great Resignation. A lot of people are rethinking their careers and thinking, no, I want out. And when I've thought about my career, I'm no, I really love this career, and I'm really lucky that way. So it's hard for me to find any disadvantages, really. As far as memorable moments, one is that a few years before the pandemic, President Eden stopped by the library, and he was looking to spruce up the place, to get, perhaps new paint, which we did, and he was looking at the neurodiversity collection area, and he's like, how about we encase this in glass? And I think I was hesitating because I was like, I think that was going to make that space really warm, and then I envisioned fingerprints all over the glass, and he saw my face, and he was like, well, what do students want? And I was like, oh yay, okay, students want study rooms. And so he's like, well, let's make it so. So he arranged to have built 3 study rooms upstairs, and then some other study rooms freed up as offices were vacated. So we have 2 group study rooms downstairs for that reason. And they've been really popular. That's one of the areas of the library that are used the most. So I was really glad that really in the end, what he cared about was what students cared about, because we kept hearing from students do you have any space, a room? I'm like, I wish. Yeah. So now we have them. So that was a happy memory. But
the more the merrier. So.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I think if we were to make any big changes, I would like to see a few more rooms like that. So.
So that's all the questions for now.
Great, thank you.
Thank you for the interview.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks very much.
What path did you choose to begin your career?
So to begin my career as a librarian, it's actually my second career.
Oh,
I didn't become a librarian and didn't start working in libraries until I was in my 30s. That's not uncommon for a lot of people in librarianship to choose it as a second career. So it was a second career for me, and I started off here at Landmark as the evening research assistant, working 4 to midnight. And that's how I got introduced to the idea of working in a library.
oh,
But that position doesn't require a master's degree. So I got experience, and that's how I started.
nice. What was your first career?
My very first career out of college was actually in international education.
Oh.
I majored in international studies and a minor in French, and then I worked for a student exchange organization in New York City, helping students travel and live with host families around the world.
How many years have you been in Landmark, and did you become, and how did you, was your position like a posting, or did you get promoted?
So I've actually been at Landmark for 20 years. This is my 20th anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I started, as I said, as the evening research assistant, working 4 to midnight. And then while I was doing that job, I decided to get a second master's degree in library science. So I worked full-time and then got my master's in library science while I was working. And then I became a librarian in 2012.
Well,
And I was promoted into the position of librarian.
awesome. So the last question of our interview is, so what are the advantages, disadvantages, and the most memorable moments for you here?
That's hard to summarize quickly. I think the advantages and wonderful memories far outweigh the disadvantages. So, you know, the wonderful memories I have and what keeps me here as a librarian is actually seeing students progress in their research abilities and gain confidence in their learning style and their ability to learn and do good research. So seeing students make that progress is very fulfilling to me. And I really enjoy that, and that's what keeps me here.
Awesome.
So.
I'm really glad to hear this. And that's all for today.
Great. Well, thank you for letting me take the time to talk to you about librarianship, being a librarian here. I appreciate it.
Thank you for accepting the invite. So what path did you choose to begin your career?
I have been working in libraries since I was a teenager. So initially it was a job tip from a neighbor who got me a part-time job in high school at a library. And so after that going to college, I initially went to college for teacher education. I thought that I wanted to be a teacher, and I wanted to teach foreign languages, specifically Latin. But I changed my mind somewhere along the line, and still wanted to be involved in education in some way. And so working in libraries is one way I could do that. Support educators and education without being in front of a classroom.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was quite for me.
Becoming a librarian was your main career path.
Yes. Ever since then, it has been. Yep, I've worked in a variety of libraries, public libraries, and then other universities and colleges.
So, how many years have you been working in Landmark, and how did you get your position? You got it when you got here, or did you get promoted?
There was a promotion, yes. Originally, the job was posted in the local newspaper, and I responded, got hired. A few years later, there was an opening, and I was promoted. My job has a lot of different responsibilities, and some of it is working on a computer in my back office. for part of the day, but then I also have a number of shifts out on the front desk at the reference desk, so I get to see people come in and answer their questions. So it's a good combination of computer work where you can concentrate on detail, and then also working with students and faculty and trying to help them when they come in.
So that's all for the interview today, and
Okay.
we're really glad to meet you.
Yep, you too, Venk. Good to talk to you. Thanks for your interest.
Thank you. What path did you choose to begin your career?
So I actually was laid off from a job
Oh, sorry.
a few years back. I would say it's about 7 years or so ago. And it gave me a chance to sort of take stock of things and decide, do I want to keep doing what I'm doing now, or do I want to try something new? And I decided I'd like to try something new.
Awesome.
So that started me on the path to librarianship.
Yeah, I mean, it's really awesome to kind of reset, recalibrate, and choose what we want to do.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly right.
Awesome. So is working in the library the main career path chosen, or did you focus on any other profession?
Yeah, I've done so many different things. I came actually late to the librarianship. When I got laid off, as I mentioned, I was doing accounting.
Accounting.
Believe it or not. I've also done database management before librarianship. I've worked in insurance. I worked in medical billing. I probably worked every position in the restaurant industry. So I've done quite a few things. But librarianship, I decided, was something that I love. I've always loved books, ideas, working with people, the public. So here I am now.
How many years have you worked in Landmark, and did you become did you come to your position as a posting that's offered to you, or did you get promoted?
Right. So I went to graduate school for to study librarianship, and after I was through with getting my graduate degree, I was looking for work. It's actually, believe it or not, librarianship is sometimes hard to find jobs. It's a little bit competitive in some ways. So there was a position open here, actually a paraprofessional position. So, and that's the evening position, which I think perhaps you've seen me working in the evenings.
Yeah.
So actually, just like our current evening research specialist, Liz, we both have advanced degrees, but we came into the professional position. 2 years later, after I had that position, I was promoted to a full research librarian, which is what I started this fall. So it was a promotion. I work during the day now. I teach classes.
Oh, you teach class?
I teach classes now, so that's, I'm very excited and grateful that I can be doing this.
Awesome. Actually, this wasn't in one of my questions, but it is a follow-up. So, when you say when you teach classes, what courses do you teach?
Oh, I don't. So, librarianship is a little different. There are some librarians that teach entire courses. Many librarians, perhaps most academic librarians, which is what I'm considered an academic librarian, we teach what are called one-shot sessions. What that means is we don't have a full semester-long class. We will, and perhaps some other students can speak to this. We'll come to an existing class, say like research and analysis, and we'll teach like one session or maybe like 2 library sessions, about library databases, research.
Like how to write a paper, the MLA format.
MLA format, citations, right? That sort of thing. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's teaching just like, it could be almost any class on campus that has a research component. Like whenever you're writing a paper, your professor might ask a librarian to come in and maybe just teach a couple classes, like how to use databases, how to do citations, how to search the open web and evaluate sources, or just things like that.
To interview you and
Yeah,
you accepting.
thank you for the opportunity to speak with you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Venki.
Hey Kipper, how are you doing?
I'm doing just fine, Venki. Thank you all for watching this week's episode. Hope to see you all next week. Bye, everyone. Wait a minute. Is that who I think it is? It's the monsters who scared us last time! Ah! We're just pulling your leg.
Oh my god. Whew.